All right, so welcome everybody back to another episode of Investors Gallery. Again, welcome everybody who is listening through the podcast outlets, so iTunes, Google Podcasts. Man, it's about 10 or 15 different outlets. So if you're listening through one of the outlets, we appreciate you, and we hope we can get enough amazing content to keep you engaged and interested in our show. But let me kind of explain why we put together this format and this platform. The reason for Investors Gallery is to bring the public together, those who are interested in investing, those who are interested in different asset classes, to bring them together with the experts and the fund managers and the investors. There are not many times when there are people outside of our space and outside of our industry that actually has direct access to the investors and to the fund managers and to whatever other expert or investor we have on the show. So the reason why we made this show and this platform is so regular people, doctors, nurses, whoever, can come on the show, hear about an expert or an investor, and then actually be able to talk to them and ask them questions at the end. So we have another special guest on. I appreciate you coming on, sir. I'll turn it over to you and give us an intro. Who are you, and bring us into your world.
Outstanding. Thanks so much, man, for having me actually on your platform, man. Hello, everybody is there. My name is Corneilous. I'm the fund manager of Shark Pool Capital. It's the host of It's the Funding Process Behind the event called Apartment Investing Shark Pool. It's like Shark Tank for apartment investing. We kind of create a neat kind of concept from there. I can tell a story about me and how I got started in the process. Is that how you asked for?
Yeah, let's go.
Just a few years ago, I think I kind of woke up one day and kind of thought to myself like, man, I really thought I'd be further along in life than where I was. At the time, I didn't like my job. I was having issues in my marriage, and I felt like I wasn't being a parent to my kids like I wanted to be. And I tell people all the time, like, I was at a point where I really know what to do. So I went to my two favorite G's. I went to God, and God sent me to Google. I kind of just started Googling like trying to figure out like, how do these people have like this true financial freedom? I mean, we tried wholesaling property, we tried flipping properties, we tried doing just another kind of job out there. And we just trying to and that Googling process kind of brought us to financial freedom and multifamily event me and my wife kind of went to. And I remember going there thinking to myself like, listen, we're not going to another event, we're not buying another program, we're gonna take the information we know right here and apply to all the other stuff we bought in the past. And so I remember going to the event. And I remember like the event was kind of cool because it was something different. I heard about multifamily, but I really didn't understand about it. But I remember like the third day. First day was cool, second day was fine, but third day was like everybody was high-fiving, feeling good and so forth. So I remember the speaker getting up about to speak. I knew it was coming, the pitch about to come, but I already planned that I ain't buying nothing. And but I remember like first he said something about how the program worked. I'm like, okay, I see how it works. They started giving testimony and so forth about okay, I see how it works. So forth, I see this testimony. Okay, she can do it, he can do it. I feel like I can do it. Then he about to say the price. I said, hold on. Before you say the price, I said, hold on, God, give me a sign. Let me know this price for me or not, right? And I remember like he said, you can have all this for this price here. And I said, I looked at that price and I said, thank you, God, for my sign, because that price is not for me, because it was way out of my range. Now I'm not having it. I started laughing at the time. And I remember laughing. I remember looking over at my wife, and she was just crying. She was just crying because she was just so frustrated for all the stuff that we're trying to get financial freedom, trying to give up family time, trying to give up stuff. Like, when was our breakthrough? When can we get this piece that everybody talk about life and so forth? When can we actually live? And I was like, babe, are you okay? When we were public, like, okay. So we actually went outside and got talked for a while, and she was trying to figure out what should we do now. So I actually went up to the guy and asked him. I said, hey man, I don't have that price. What do you have? Yeah, work out some kind of plans. And what happened? He actually worked out. That had another piece that you can have this other package kind of smaller and so forth. And I ended up, I said, well, I just did a wholesale deal, so I had some cash. So I said, okay, gotcha. Give me the like the silver, the gold package, right? And so I him take my debit card, took the money. He went to the back and came back with some books. And I'm like, this, some books? I'm like this, like it's like some books like this, like who do books and travel keepers these days? And I'm like, where you coming from? So whatever it is, I took that box home. And I just went through it. And it's funny how when somebody else depend upon you, the things you would do in life. And I like this, I gotta make the thing work. So I went through every book, every program out there. And it seemed very simple. Talk about syndications, about buying properties. It seemed very simple. It seemed find a property, underwrite it. Once you underwrite it, then raise capital and live happily ever after. So for weeks and even months, I went meeting brokers and sellers, trying to find the right properties. Then I spend hours with spreadsheets, softwares, trying to make sure that the numbers work. Then I'll go out and make phone calls, go to meetup groups, send out emails, trying to raise capital. Then on top of trying to have a family, make a living for myself, and keep my health instead. And it felt like I was trying to chase 3 different rabbits on top of all of this. And then it was like this, man, how do people do this stuff? Like, it seems simple, but how I see people on Facebook making all these deals so forth. And I think one day I was sitting there down on myself, scrolling through Facebook, trying to find something kind of numb the pain you with. Sometimes get some of these kind of just get your mind off something like
distraction.
And I came across this post and it said, hey, the guy said, hey, I just came to this country a couple years ago, barely speaking English, and now we're closing on a 3,000 unit portfolio. I'm like, man, who is this guy? Right? So I click his profile, start going through his profile and so forth. And it seemed like he was closing a new deal like every other month. I'm like, this guy got no secret, right? I'm like, this guy gonna know something I don't know. So he had a link like saying, hey, if you invest in an apartment, click on my link here. So I click on his link, so forth, kind of type all my information in and so forth. And I remember I scheduled a call with him. I remember the day was coming out, this dude, I'm getting to go, the secrets, what this guy got, what's this guy even tell about the secret, what he have. And I remember like the first thing he said, so Corneilous, he said, so what do you do? And I'm like this, man, listen, I'm a real estate agent, so I'm good at finding properties. I got this software so I can underwrite very fast. And matter of fact, I got this 42 unit right now, raising capital on. So like, look at me now, right? And he said, like he wasn't impressed. I'm like, so what do you do? Right? He said, well, Corneilous, you understand, the secret of real estate is a team sport. Find something you enjoy, become good at that, and you partner with those who are good at what they do. Mm-hmm. When he said that, it was like a big slap in the face, like an old Batman slap, like I knew it, but I wasn't doing it. So I said, okay, gotcha. I'm about to focus on my biggest problem is raising capital. I'm focus on how I can be good at raising capital and do that, right? So when I did that, I made a declaration and started doing everything I can do, so all the course of forward trying to raise capital and start putting in action. So start implementing. Then when I did that, I had an opportunity to be a part of a 180 unit deal. Then came a 272 unit deal, and more deals started coming after that because of focusing on one thing, part of other people were doing one thing. And that was my big aha moment. So like, well, how can I do this more? So one of the things, I started joining other communities and so forth, trying to be more. I said, well, how can I start my own community? That way I can focus on one thing and help other people as well. So we kind of start our own community as well.
So let me pause you.
Yes, sir.
Because I frequently have individuals, and I'm guilty of this myself as well. And this might not be your story, but yes, we tell our story, we tell our origin story so much. We feel like we have to say it because nobody knows it, but we've heard it a million times. So we don't understand the weight and the depths of the details that we give, because to us it's the same story that I tell the story 5 times a day. So to us it's just the story. The first 5 times we told it was powerful. Now it's just like, we're going through the motions. So sometimes I like to stop the guest and say, hey, okay, because you unpacked a lot, and I need to make sure that the audience understood what you said, not basically in a communication way, okay, but how deep it was. The pain that you went through. You said your wife was basically breaking down in the conference because you guys were so frustrated. So you don't have to reveal the names because anybody who has been on my platform, on my show before, knows I promote everybody. So we have Brad Blazer, the $1 billion guy. He's raised $1 billion in his career. He has a coaching platform. I asked him to come on, talk about his platform. Tim Mai just did an amazing podcast, and I'm promoting him on my podcast. So shouts out if you if you're on any kind of social media, look up Tim Mai, and we're going to get to your podcast too. But to bring it all back, if you don't mind, disclose how much the first course was, because I want the audience to know that you got to pay to play, and it's either going to be in money or a lot of time researching in the School of Hard Knocks. So let's start there with paying for the course and that struggle there.
So I think you're right. So so the initial I think the initial payment was just before COVID. So it was like 2018, 19. So it's like $40,000 up front, right? And I didn't have $40,000 up front. I didn't have to give to it. So we ended up paying $24,000 for our program. And it happened I was hosting other properties to get that $24,000 up. So it wasn't credit, it was $24,000 cash I had to give up. In that the program itself, I can tell you the name of the program, but the only thing my hesitation is because of I think that they still teach that model of go find a property and the money will come. And I mean because we laugh at that, but a lot of programs do that. A lot of programs say go find a deal, find a sponsor, do that. But you teach people that go find a deal, the money will come, and we laugh at that. But why are you doing it? We pay months of money, and that's what that program still teaches. And I don't want to endorse that because of I think that. But however, it took me to realize that it didn't work for me. It works for some people, but it doesn't work for me. And I think it's an easy way about going away to get on a deal.
The reason why I laugh is the podcast that I was on earlier, gentleman been doing this for 3 years. He went from a W-2 job to he has 1.5 billion assets under management. And his exact words 3 hours ago was, I hear so many people, investors and gurus say, find the deal and the money will come. He says, well, it might just be me, but it doesn't happen like that for me. He said, I still have to beat the streets. And so for I guess our experience, it don't work like that. It may be pre-2018 when, the multifamily round wasn't as saturated, but yeah, I agree.
But even I think that is if you look at the logic of it, if a real estate agent finna give somebody millions of dollars of an asset to a person who never did it before, the likelihood of you closing is very slim. For example, if I'm a real estate agent, I'm gonna go to people who already closed deal before. Why? My commission is based upon you closing. So not based upon somebody brand new just on the street. No, I want somebody who actually closed. Hey, show me how many deals you closed before. Because why? Because I'm investing into you as far as time wise. If you're brand new, how can you get a deal on a contract or get somebody to convince somebody to give you a deal and you have no idea to do it? And now, because when I did it, it was almost like then you come from a point of hunger or thirsty. Please give me money. Please give me money. Please for my deal. It's like you're thinking with emotion, not logic. And I think it put you in a bad position. Because people can sense that. You can sense somebody hungry. It's like dude, you just want my money. It's like buy me a drink first. Like wine and dine me. Wine and dine before you get everything. Yeah. Like it's more so like it's taking it. I think that it's like they call it's more sedation opposed to rape. It's like just so I think that's where it come in at about doing that. But I think that everybody should focus on, if you in this game or this space, focus on building your relationship with your investors first. I think everybody should have their own list of investors, their own pocketbook or their own money that they can pull from.
Okay. So you went from getting a course, and then you met a gentleman. And you know what? And I run into this a lot. So my story is I was born into real estate. My grandparents owned apartments, so I was literally born into this. But I still had to, work my way up to being successful because they did okay, but they kind of let everything go. Long story. So you got the course, you met the gentleman, and he gave you some nuggets, which I think every investor would admit. Going through this journey, you meet people or you read stuff, and it'll be a sentence or it'll be a short conversation with someone, usually another investor or mentor, and they'll tell you that one thing you're like, wow, I thought about that, but I didn't really put a lot of focus into that. So you went from the course and you met the investor, and the investor gave you some gold nuggets. expound a little bit more about that. And then I want, because you kind of went to that and you just went into two deals, and then I want to go into the two deals after that.
Okay. So I think that I say, man, I'm a big believer in God and Christian. I mean, I'm a believer that. I think that God speaks to all of us, but not all is willing to listen.
Right.
And I think that these nuggets are always here, but however, you hear the thing that when the student is ready, the teacher will appear, right? I knew it, but however, I had to go through that threshold. Like your test is your testimony sometimes. Like I had to go through that to understand the value of what I was doing. And so I don't think he really that little thing of like me and the guy, the conversation didn't go very well because with him, but however, he just said like, Corneilous, you doing it all wrong. Like, dude, I like, so I had to ask, like, what are you doing? He's like, well, I focus on one thing and does this. And he said it as not, I'm not like sure if he actually meant to give it as a gold nugget or like look at me, but that's how I received it. I received it as, dude, I'm doing something wrong. Like, it wasn't really a teaching moment, but it's like, it was a humble position in myself to say, well, he's doing it, right? It's like I can like apparently he's doing something right, and I'm doing it. The book saying so I need to humble myself and figure out like, well, maybe you don't know what you don't know. Like let me see what he's doing, right? So and I think it was very humble experience for me to because I took pride on, hey, I bought the books, I read the book, I did all stuff, man. I'm doing everything I got. I get results, and like he like, well, dude, you ain't doing it right. So I mean, like it spoke for itself, and I think that it was a very humble experience for me to actually open myself to like this. Well, maybe I'm not doing it right, or maybe there's no way of doing this. I think that sometimes, as adults, learning become a choice. Because in school, when you are in school or younger, school is mandatory. You go to school, they tell you what to wear, tell you what to do, what you'll study, so forth. But as an adult, learning is a choice. For example, like we spend more money in education outside of our adulthood, right? Like, how can I turn it in like life? The life itself become a learning platform. Every day we learning of something, but you have to be able to be willing to receive that, to be like, I'm willing to learn. And I think we're gonna open my eyes to like, gotcha, I'm doing something wrong. This way I get my results. Is working or not working? It's not working for me at the time.
Right. So how did you go from the aha moment into your first deal?
So what happened was I say it lightly because of legally I don't say it now, but I said, okay, I'm about to become a capital raiser. And I start calling myself, well, I raise capital, I'm a capital raiser. Like legally I say it because of legally, it's kind of like a red flag in the syndicated word called capital raiser, right? So
license and
it's like but I didn't know well, I'm a capital raiser now. Like it's one of the things that you bid until you see it, right? So I start telling people that I'm a capital raiser. I start telling people that like, oh, you raise capital, you'll be part of my deal. And I like this, okay, let's do it, right? Okay, right? And that's what happened because of I it's like you start with that who you want to be first. Be, do, have, right? Who I want to be. I said I want to be capital raiser, so I did what capital raiser did, and that opened up doors for me. And I started putting out there, and I meet people who needed capital raisers. And that's how they started inviting me party deals, and I started doing the same thing I've been doing, trying to just focus on raising capital. And by building my list, build my investors up, and start getting people to invest with me because they invest with me, I invest in their deals. Mm-hmm. So that's how it started to go because of I decided who I want to be first.
What was your biggest platform for finding those investors?
Events. Okay.
Meetups.
Not only so my biggest platform came from doing a virtual summit because of I wanted to break into multifamily space, so I created a virtual event called Apartment Investing Secrets. I bought a domain and created an event, and the event was just interviewing people who actually already been experienced. And guess what? I built up, my credibility built up because why? I interviewed them. And that's what it was. So me hosting local meetup groups, me being an organizer, it builds credibility by me being an organizer, by me learning and so forth, because of I took action and people associate other people with me. And that's how I instantly build credibility because of why I get right off by them. And that's what kind of just hosting. So I had a local meetup group at first. Then I went online to start doing a virtual meetup group, doing what's the name. It kind of grew from there. But just hosting Facebook group, hosting that.
Tell us about your first deal.
My first deal was it's interesting. My first deal was the 180 unit deal that I became capital raiser on, right? It was interesting because of the opportunity was for us to be GP on that deal, and somebody who had a deal as well. And what happened was they needed the syndicator needed the earnest money to put down. I said, well, it needed like $100,000 to put down. I said, well, let me see what I can do. Let me see. I'm gonna cover it. Let me see what I can do. They call my shot. Let me see what I can do. Right.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
emailed the opportunity to my list, so forth. And one person said, hey, Corneilous, I like this deal. It's in my area. Let's see what we can do. He said, well, can I be GP stat? Can I be GP2? Yeah, you can be GP2. So no problem at all. Let's get the deal done. Let's do it together. So so we all can do it. So that's what the plan was. So they came and brought the money we need for the earnest money, like $100,000 for the earnest money, right? And we had a certain time period before the money went hard. And something happened between the lead syndicator and my investor, as far as conversation wise, personality clash. And what happened was she stopped talking to us, right? And we had like 3 days before the money went hard. Like, what are we gonna do? We're gonna do. And what happened was my investor said, well, Corneilous, if I don't hear anything about this day here, can we cancel? Yes, I guess so, right? So I think that Saturday morning we actually sent an email out to cancel to everybody to cancel the deal because we didn't for the lead sponsor for cancel the deal. Say, hey, no deal, because of we use the loan because we had about the loan didn't go according to plan that we can get out the deal, so forth, and get our money back and no harm, no foul. So we sent the email out to the title company, the seller, everybody else on the blast email, right? Like 2 minutes later, we get another email from our lead syndicator saying, no, keep the deal. They're not even part of the deal. Keep the deal going on. So what happened is the money went hard and they kicked us out the GP deal. And I'm like this, oh shucks, right? Like so now it's like it's a new ball game now because now we out of the deal now, and she had the capital of the deal. So we had to basically go back and forth with attorneys and just really kind of fight to get we don't get the money back because of make a long story short, back and forth our attorney fees. We ended up getting the money back because we had documents saying we sent the email out to cancel the deal before the earnest money went hard. But because we had to fight the seller, because seller like, no, that's our money. And like we had to fight back and forth, but legally we got out of the deal. And that was a big thing for me because of I fought for my investment money more than I fought for my own money, and that built pride into the investment me later on and more deals later.
Yeah, because the investor money it recycles. Yeah, it builds up.
Correct. So I mean, so me doing that for them build credibility with them and me, because like I could say, oh, ain't my money, I'm out and walk away. But then it would been, well, I was Corneilous, but I lost money about it. So I didn't want that rep. So I wanted to build up and fight for them harder than that. I was fighting for the money more than I fought my money because I knew I was just new in the space. And I didn't want to get my name tainted already, just starting in the space.
On your first deal.
Yeah, I'm gonna take my first, but I think that was it's like the first one's all on your memory because always the challenging one because you get your scars, right? Because of these will get easier, you become stronger.
Yeah. I want to pause and go back just to put more emphasis on what you said about the communication, if I understood it right. Part of the big issue was lack of communication to the LPs, right? I hear that continuously why investors don't reinvest into the next deal is not necessarily the returns wasn't great, but it's been they were not communicating with the LPs. And for those who don't know, LP is the limited partners or the passive investors. So for anyone who is listening who doesn't already know this, when you get your own deal, or if you're the person in charge of the communication, investor relations, or whatever fancy title you get, that is probably one of the most important things. Communicate with your investor before the deal gets done and after the deal gets done. Send the newsletter out, conference calls, meetups, whatever you need to do so your investor understands, hey, this is where we're at, this is what we're doing, this is what our plans are. And I also think, and you can, agree with me or tell me if you think differently, but if a deal is starting to go south, if you've been keeping investors updated, they already know, hey, this is what we've been struggling with. These are the issues that's popping up. So they're kind of going down, the hill with you, and they understand that, you know what, this is not looking like it's going to be a good thing. And I think investors know that things can go wrong, but if they're constantly, getting updated and have that communication, it's not this big shock. It's not this big cold water in the face.
I do agree. I think that anytime somebody borrow money from you, you rather have them over communicate than actually under communicate, right? So I mean, so worst case scenario, dude, that man called me every day telling me about my money, right? Like worst case scenario. Right. So I mean, so I think that is key, and I'm saying because of it's easy to run and hide because of, once again, the mind kind of creates stories for you, right? And say, hey man, listen, I'm not like sure what's gonna happen. Even it just say, I'm just calling once a week to say hello. Let you know what's going on. Hey, I'm still alive. Right. Right. So just so I mean, so that can be enough for some people. So worst case scenario, they don't answer your email, but you can't say I didn't reach out to you.
Right. What are some struggles that you ran into once you guys were able to close on your first deal? Was it operations or?
Well, I think that having a good team is always key because of. And I think that having people who smart in you, try to have people who smart in you in your circle, that's somebody that you can lean upon, right? I think one of the reasons why coaching calls mentorship is so powerful, because of you won't be able to know everything. But however, and I say a lot of times people who get started in these new to investing, they have a team, but everybody's new. It's like, so how can you lead somebody if y'all all new, right? It's like, so I mean, so have someone that you can go to just a level above or 2 levels above you on some type of area. And I think that was a key. That was a problem with me when I first started. I wanted to keep together everybody I know, but it's like I can't. And in order for me to grow, I need to get, for example, you gotta pay for your friends. You gotta pay to get in bigger circles. It costs sometimes it costs to be the boss sometimes, right? But I think that in knowing that you can pay to be in certain circles to learn from something can exponential your growth. You can grow so faster because of using the right people. So I think that, and also one thing got me, far as I think somebody said networking, but it's not about what you know, it's not about who you know, it's about who knows you and what they know you for.
Wow, right? I haven't heard that one. Wow.
Yeah, because that's a Bible term, the Bible stuff. But when Daniel was in prison, he said, "I know a guy can read dreams."
Wow.
But yeah, so I mean, so it's like, what are you known for? So I said, well, I want to be known for raising capital, or I want to be known for everybody gotta say, I know a guy who does cars, I know a guy who does, I know a girl who does hair. So like what are you known for? And a lot of people forget that, like, what do people know you for? And I really like, and you really have to define that. People like this, Corneilous, because people kept saying like, Corneilous, I'm really not sure what you do. And like, and it was a big aha moment for like this. Well, what can I do, right? So I mean, so I think that takes some time to really figure out what you'll be known for, and that way that, because at first I was doing single family apartments and everything, like no, and like it's like going to a doctor and say, getting brain surgery, hey man, I can do your nails while you underwater, or I can fix your heart too. I can do your hair when you wake up. Like, so doc, what do you want to do today? So I think that was a key for me to really define what I want to be known for. And that kind of opened up a new door, because now people can refer to me and I can be a product expert in my lane.
Right. How many people are on your team currently?
We have about on the fund right now is about the 3 of us that run the fund.
Okay. And let's go ahead and segue into your podcast, because it's freaking awesome. I need to start taking notes from you guys. So take us into your podcast and tell us how you came up with that, if you came up with the idea and how that works.
Actually, I went to an event, a matter of fact, a Dave Lindau event, actually in Boston. It was he had a multifamily event. He had an event called and in his event it was like Shark Tank for apartment investors, right? And at his event, people pitching deals. And I thought I like the event Shark Tanks. I thought it was cool. People pitching deals, but it seemed as if it was a disconnection there from my standpoint. I feel like the presenter was pitching deals to a panel of general partners, people who wasn't gonna fund their deals. A lot of GPs don't fund a lot of people deals. They don't fund deals that they're a part of. And I like this. Well, they can pick apart any deal out there, right? And also the audience, I feel like I feel like he wasn't really talking to me, was gonna be a part of it. But I like the idea, but I feel like I was watching it, not really being experiencing it. Right. So the idea I love, so I like this as a capital raiser at the time. I said, well, listen, if I create my own show, I can be on a panel and people can bring me deals. I can raise capital for their deals. It'll be a great thing. And so what happened? So I created my own virtual during COVID. It was we couldn't do live events. So I did a virtual. So we had a podcast, or a virtual Zoom call where presenters can come on our Zoom call and present their deals to a panel of experts. But on my panel, I try to get like fund managers, people who limited partners. I try to get like family office people because of I realized that the goal is actually the gem, the jewels is actually in my audience. That way, because of, and also myself, because of, I think that we all wish we had a time machine saying that I wish I would know what I know now 10 years ago, right? So how do we do it? We can't do that. So what we do is we find somebody who's 10 years ahead of us. So I try to get people who's ahead of us, and that way that when somebody come and present a deal, they can analyze it from their viewpoint. And I'm saying this like this is how a family office got on it. This is how a hedge fund got on it. This is how a person who invested in 17 deals. This is the kind of question he's asked. The kind of question he's asked, question he don't ask. So now I become more savvy as an investor from that platform. In the audience, you can sit there and listen to this platform, and you can. So the fund came from because of it allows the audience to invest in these deals. Because most deals, so our fund, because like we pull money together. So what happens is a lot of times these investments may cost $50,000 to $200,000 minimum, right? Now the problem is some people may have it, some people may not have it, right? And people who do have it may only have it for once every year or once every 2 years or what have you. So what happens is they get a deal and now they can sit on the sideline until they get a deal and their money back. So what we do is we allow people to break their investment up and invest multiple deals at a time. So everybody like, hey, I got 10,000 here, 10,000 here, so forth. That way and also it's separate. So that way you can still play the game of investing and diversify your investments on different deals. And also you get a chance to experience how, you get a chance to see multiple deals, but also you get a chance to see how people who are more experienced than you analyze these deals. And also, so as a syndicator, you come there and you get all your funding from one platform, right? Come there, get the deal pitch, everybody know you, so forth. And now, and also because we do a pre-pitch, so have you critique your pitch deck before you go on the show. So now you can do now you can get money from us. So now you can you can have your own webinar because usually with webinars, you don't get no feedback. You tell them everybody all stuff and like, hey, you got any questions? Sometimes people leave. Somebody don't come. You really don't have no idea why they did invest or why they didn't invest. But now you get actual feedback from real people who trying to invest in your deal. And I think that I it's kind of like a win-win-win. It's kind of cliche, but it's kind of like one of the things where it's a platform where we all benefit from learning. So that concept is growing right now because of the fund. That me being a fund manager really didn't start from there. It was really for me to be, the show really started from me trying to raise capital on all their deals. But I realized that as you give, you receive. So like, well, how can I give more? And the idea that how can I help the audience out more? And that's how the fund kind of created from there because what happens is the people invest into a fund, right? Each deal have its own fund, and now I can pull together $500, $1 million, what have you. Now I go to the syndicate and say, hey, listen, I got a pool now. I'm writing one check for 1 million. Can we get a higher class? So now as a LP, you can invest 10,000, 20,000 and get a higher portion opposed to going him directly. So it kind of help out both sides as well.
Right. Are you thinking about starting additional funds, or are you kind of comfortable with the ones you have now?
So be honest with you, my next move right now is only for credit investors only because it's a Reg C, but my if I want to see my next goal is actually to create it to be a Reg A fund.
Okay.
So that way that no matter who you are, non-credit or credit investors, you can invest on our platform.
Okay.
So it's two things now that open up more impact that people really can get all their money raised from one capital. Right? You got a deal, you get a deal, come a Shark Pool show, and we will get all your capital raised right there, and you good, right? And now you can do what you do best by finding deals. You find deals, we come here, find deals and come here.
Wow. So have you been doing Shark Pool for 1 year or 2 years?
So it's funny because I started the Shark Pool event back in 2020. My first event I did it part of my first virtual summit. Then I had another summit I did as well. My wife had this summit we did well. But then people like this, man, we love the event, love it, so forth. And this year, matter of fact, I challenged myself. I said, this is growing. Let me see what I can make it out to. I said January 1st, I said, I'm going every Thursday. Just see how I go, right? And commit myself, like I'm pretty sure like you, like commit yourself to do a podcast each week. It's like it pulls you a place that you never thought to pull you from. I said, listen, if I do it weekly, where will I be at the end of the year? So this year I decided to go weekly, and here we are half the year. And because the idea wasn't to have a fund, and now here I am a fund manager. Now I'm doing a Reg A, and we got deals. So each time things changing, and like we added polls, we had so much engagement and stuff growing as we grow. So I'm excited to see how it's gonna be by the end of the year, and even next year as it grows so much, man. Maybe somebody may come buy me out. Maybe ABC may say, hey, Corneilous, or Mark Cuban may say, hey, dude. We never know, but I'm just excited about the journey and see how this the more I give, the more I receive. I realize that it just really has to be a point of how I can help more, because it's really a team sport. It really is.
How many deals do you think you guys have done or passed through Shark Pool so far?
So far, that's a good question. And my hesitation because of prior to me doing it, half of it, more about 3 months of the year, it was more joke. Right now I'm looking at my calendar, so I look up the wall, my calendar wall. Because I have a wall. So majority of my my time was it was every week I had somebody presenting. At first, there were 3 presenters, 2 presenters. Now we're down like 1 presenter, kind of critique the show itself. Before it was like the guy come and do a 15-minute pitch, right? Then the sharks kind of analyze the deal. Then the artists can make their feedback as well. It used to be, hey, like this deal, go to his website, call him, so forth right here. And once again, I had no way to track who went to the website, had no way to do it. And I'll follow up, say, hey man, how it go? Well, we got funded, but I'm not sure it came from Shark Pool or not. I'm like this. Okay, well, right, so you know what, to kind of track all this stuff out. So that's why so now it's like the show now the show come, and now like the funds, like now we can track more doing it. So kind of I think like one guy came, he had a new development in Orlando, Florida, and like I called him the next day, say, hey man, I had great, we got like $2 million soft commitments, like this. $2 million soft commitments. Oh, that's great. Like, and I had no idea that it was going through. Then, but then I met another guy. I have a lender who actually is a private equity guy in our group. Like he funded like 25 million of properties behind. But like they say, hey, the guy presented, thank you, Shark Pool. We funded his deal here. And like 25 million he funded. I'm like this, okay. So once again, stuff I didn't know that's being tracked behind closed doors. Nothing wrong with that, but it's just one of the things that once again, because it's a growing. I like it because of why it means that it's working, right? It's working. So I mean, so as we fine tune this process, we get more clear on our data to answer those questions. How many people coming back? How many deals get funded? How much? So we get more in tune with that because of we're trying to create an actual business behind it, opposed to just a podcast, because you're growing to actually a business.
Right. Man, I don't know. It seems like you guys might need to bring or have somebody get one of their securities license, and so you can have a broker on there.
So I mean, so I think so. It's funny because of like I'm going through the attorney now, talking to him as well. If we get a Reg A, we're gonna have to one of the requirements in actually the price that we get charged for is we would have a broker dealer to actually handle the Reg A. But even the fund itself, my goal was to be a registered investment advisor, because they say here in Texas, if you own a certain amount of if you have I think over 100 investors in your thing or asset management, you have to get licensed for it. Which I'm in the space. I'm not against. I invite learning more or have more accreditation. Because I think
Right.
that because the Dodd-Frank Act, I mean the Job Act started in 2012, right? Here we are. I mean, so here we are. These I think that it's gonna get regulated soon. It's about when, right? They already talking about raising the accreditation for accredited investors to like 5 or 10 million, right? So they already talking about that. So I think that being able to have a license so forth is going to be key to separate itself from the investors. I mean, from other people. I think it's gonna get regulated soon. It's not. It's not. I mean, it's not about if. It's about when they're gonna do it. I think they're gonna do it.
Well, they just changed for everyone else who doesn't know. They just changed the accreditation, or they added, if you have any kind of financial license in your state, then you're considered accredited. So that helps. You know, I wouldn't say lower the bar, but it helps a lot more people. Yeah. Cool. But, so what's the goal? Do you have a number of doors or a certain monetary figure that you guys are shooting for, or is it just, you know, keep riding the train until the wheels fall off?
Well, I think, I mean, we all with you. I love you on cover 4 magazine on the billionaire cover.
Right.
4 magazine on the billionaire cover. I mean, I love it. I mean, I guess it's like in this space you realize that it opens up so many different doors of what you don't know, right? Because like I never thought that syndication was actually possible. People actually can own apartment buildings, right? And now I'm seeing people saying that, Corneilous, man, like some people like turn me down, like Corneilous, like the deals that we have are usually like between 100 units and the most was like 400 units, right? The lowest was 87 units. I used to have 87 units. The most is like 400 units getting presented. It's usually around 100 to 200 units, right? But I have some learners saying, Corneilous, man, you too small. If your deal is not over 100 million, we can't even talk. I'm like this, over 100 million, like the minimum, 100 million, the minimum. I'm like this, okay, well. So I mean, so I say like there's a span, like I think that is levels to this. Like when you open a new door, you just reach a new level low to next level. And I think it's like, so I think that and with my desire to always be in a room where I'm not the smartest person that I can learn from somebody else, it's gonna always continue to grow. But I think that our first threshold is really to make sure I have my own personal goals. You know, charity begins at home. Make sure that I can retire. I retire. My kids can retire. I mean, live a happy life. We have lifestyle. Right. That's my first goal. Like the home taken care of. Then we can spend on other stuff as well. But so that's the whole thing right now. So right now it's still growing. If I get a nice check tomorrow to buy me out, I'm not against it. So am I hear this? You'll find me. Say, hey, Corneilous, you want to sell? Hey, we'll see how it goes.
All right, I am taking everyone off of mute.
Sure.
If anyone has any questions, well, before anyone asks questions, Corneilous, what do you want to tell the audience that's here and also that will be listening on a podcast? Any nuggets or inspirational or whatever to push things forward?
I think that one of the things that I realized in life is that, because I was part of the army, kind of opened my doors and stuff. I think that one of the biggest nuggets that I realized in life is that no one's coming to save you. That this is if you have a dream, you have a goal, it's up to you to go get it. And I think so many times that we get to a point of nobody will help me, nobody get resources. But however, we have our own goals, our own dreams for a reason. God gave us our dream for a reason. It's not their dreams, our goal. And I think that if you understand that there's power in that, knowing nobody come save me, that it's up to me, that I own my own future, right? My future is written by what I do today. And I think that like we all are self-made, but the only the wealthy people want to admit to it, right? Usually people are overweight because why? The choice they made. People are your relationship choices you made. And I think that so many times that is the biggest thing that I see in life that helped me is like how to say myself. This is my dream, this is my goals. So every morning I got to battle my own. We all have our own demons, and like and I think that another thing is that I think that one of the things that we all have to come in agreement with, we all have that feeling of that we're not enough of something. We all have it. Like we don't speak well enough. We're not light enough. We're not dark enough. We're not man enough. We're not woman enough. We're not suave enough. But we all have it. But the question is, how do you deal with it? And because we all have a problem. But the question is, your problems may not be your problems. So at the end of the day, what if we all have the same amount of problems, but it just came in different packages? But however, your problem is yours. So you have to own your problems, own your issue, and say, no one come save me. This is my thing. I gotta rock it out. This is what I got. I gotta make it happen.
Wow, that's deep. Nobody's coming to save you.
No one comes to save it. Yeah. But I mean, so you gotta do it yourself. Let's do it. Let's rock. It's mine. It's mine. Let's go.
Right. Man, what a journey. Okay, so now I'll open it up to actually let's start first with Jay. And we love you, Jay. Jay is another one of our returning listeners. Jay, you had a question, and the questions look like rice on my screen. So what was your question or comment?
Thank you, Pressley, and it's great to see the two of you together in your little drawing room here. I commented that we've been told for decades, I'm afraid to say, that get the deal and the money will come, and it just doesn't work that way, especially now, but it never worked for me. And maybe that's because, whoever was telling us that was a wheeler dealer and they didn't see it from the shoes of who they were talking to. But now it's truer than ever. So it was just nice to hear that validated. And that was really basically my comment.
Gotcha. Thank you, Jay. I see your name all the time, D. Miller. Thank you.
Jay is in everything. She's the boss. She's gonna do amazing things. Aman, you had a question as well. Aman is also a returning listener and actually one of the like affiliates, I guess, partners of Dimensional Capital, which is our syndication. Aman, what was your question?
You there, Mark?
He's off of mute. Let's see. Did anybody else have any questions? I'm sure they did. We can't hear you, Aman, if you're trying to talk. We will.
Well, I got okay. Well, I know Don made a comment. He said the money will come if you already have it in place from soft commitment before you have the deal. And I think that I agree. I agree. I think that the whole concept of build a well before you're thirsty, because if you already have the vessels ready before you actually have the deal. And I think that it's kind of the law work for us, not really against us. It's like that's why the I don't see B deals. You have to have the deal first, or you have to know the people first before you have the deal. And I think that that's key about knowing people. Think about it. If I just met you in the streets and ask you for money, like hey, like or if I know you first before I ask you for money. So I think that relationship is a key in all. I say I don't raise capital. I try to attract capital because people are already investing already. People want to invest. I just figure out who investing and what they invest in. And now I'm just shopping for. So my goal is I find out who already investing, what they invest in, and now I just go shopping with their money. I'm just shopping with their money. So it's like a trade investor and just go shopping with it.
Spoken like a true fund manager.
but it's funny because I think we all should have the approach to real estate. I mean, my opinion, but
Don, before we move on to Tracy and then Melvin, Don, did you want to ask any additional questions or expound on Corneilous' rebuttal?
No, I think I'm good. It was planned to go to that shark pool meeting the other day, but apparently it didn't go on. So I hope to be at the next one sometime.
Yeah, this week we will be there this week and going. We had to do a switch of change because of some people want educational as well. So we still in the discovery phase of trying to figure out how can we be most effective, right? So yeah, this week we will be there. We got different Mississippi being presented. Matter of fact, we just did the pre-pitch before this phone call, so we'll be there. Don, see your name too, man. Good to see you as well. Thank you, Don, for coming.
My pleasure. Thanks.
Tracy, and then we'll put Melvin in the spotlight. Tracy, I can't see the chat screen. I thought I was going to use my phone. Tracy, did you want to re-comment your comment or question?
Sure. My question for the group was, in Shark Pool, what size deals do you typically see funded through there? I mean, does anybody ever fund smaller deals, or is everything large 50+ door properties?
Well, so we're starting a community behind Shark Pool that allows smaller deals. The only reason why, so usually I'm the one who chooses what deal go onto the actually show itself, and I've really been choosing bigger deals because of is a true business. Because of you 12, 24 unit deal, you really it's kind of challenging in my experience. It was challenging to find a good property manager to manage the property. And usually somebody got self-managing themselves, and really not it's really not a true business. So I really so we're looking to and also it's more entertaining to see bigger deals because and also it's also it defines the risk level, like because of most reputable property managers are big companies have a minimum that they will actually take, and we're looking for those people who actually have history of creating, because it's investment. So we're looking at risk level. How can we decrease the risk? This person have experience of managing multiple properties, so that way it affects the risk. How smaller units, a good property manager can save a bad deal, but a bad property manager can kill a good deal. So we're looking for, so that's one of the key things we look about, who's managing the property.
Wow, I love that honesty too.
What was that?
About the bigger deals are a little bit more interesting to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, I think because also the risk level, because of if somebody got $100,000, would you invest in a 12-unit deal or a 1,000-unit deal, right? Like there's the risk level, it varies there. So I mean, so it's about risk level. So we're not against it. It's just that it haven't been my true focus right now, because of I think that right now the platform, my job is to grow the platform, and I think people be more excited to see bigger deals. That's what it is.
And I'm just assuming, but unfortunately for the guy with the smaller deal, I mean, if you had to present a 10 unit or a 150 unit, 150 unit is going to bring more, like you said, attention and investors. So I guess, that makes sense too. It just helps all the way around to bring in deals that I wouldn't say it might be better, because you can have a higher return on a 15 unit or a 30 unit, but like you said, the risk is a lot lower. All right, so I'll get to see if there's any more questions, but I want to put our partner on the spotlight, which is Melvin. He is our partner and securities attorney. Appreciate you making it, because he was in a meeting a few minutes ago doing some other deals for us.
Yeah, so I was going to just quickly say on, raising capital, your really relationship building should be the key. Your relationship build and relationships are going to invest in you, and they're going to trust you, right? And your integrity. And ultimately, as you perform, those same relationships will come back to you. But I mean, these relationships happen late at night like this. I'm just leaving in dinner now. I've got 2 meetings tomorrow. You've got to grind. But you can ultimately raise capital from the on the ground, grassroots level. So go ahead, Pressley. Sorry, I just wanted to chime in with that.
No, I appreciate it.
Thank you, Melvin.
Corneilous, how you doing, buddy? We connected, I think it was pre-COVID. How have you been, man?
Outstanding, man. Good to see you again.
Good stuff.
Let's reconnect.
Absolutely.
Aman, did you want to comment on your comment earlier?
So Aman came back as Jarvis.
Hi, team. Yeah, I had to jump. I was on my cell phone. I was driving. I just made it in. So I popped open the laptop and it typically Zoom transfers over, but it didn't this time. So I jumped in. But thank you, Cornelius. Nice to meet you. The question that I had was, is there kind of a max number of deals that you can handle effectively, per year, or is just the more deals the merrier, or how does that process work? What does something like that look like?
So right now we actually operate a fund of a fund. So basically we're a passive investor in other syndications. So we just manage that. So we can handle as many as our investors the platform grows because of each. So as the platform grows, we get new investors, new capital that we can disperse. So I mean, so we're not really doing so we're just doing the vetting of the operator, and we're not operating and we're just acting as investors. Just so it's really just a pass through entity, if you're not entity, but a pass through portal. So it's not really us investing; it's really the audience investing in your deal.
Gotcha.
So right now we're not really it's not limited to us. Only limit to us is how many investors can we get to our platform, and that's all it is. The fund itself is just a legal entity that allows people to invest. It's just a way, how can we get the audience to invest in the deals? That's all it is.
Cornelius, how large is your fund?
Right now we use a company called A-Bester. We have an evergreen fund, so it's constantly growing and constantly shrinking.
Okay, you guys with A-Bester. Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anyone who has any specific questions for Cornelius?
I've got a question on the Shark Tank pool, or that platform. Are you guys only advertising C and CF deals? Well, C, CF, and A plus, or what is the format?
So right now our fund is a 501c. So on credit investor only, and all the deals that get presented is only for all C as well. So
good.
Yeah. So right now there's no CF or CF we tried the CF route, but however the time frame from CF, for one, with CF route, the maximum is 5 million, and 5 million won't really make a huge dent. I mean, 5 million is 5 million. Don't get me wrong, 5 million is 5 million. But however, on larger deals like 100 unit property, 5 million won't cover the total raise. So we're trying to figure out how can we not be capped at 5 million. So
right.
And Melvin, he mentioned in the beginning of I don't know if you were here or not, that they were thinking about transitioning or incorporating Reg A, going into Reg A.
Okay. Yep. Good. Who's doing? Well, we'll talk. Well, yeah. Let's reconnect after this call sometime.
I'll say I look forward to it.
All right. So it seems if no one else has any questions, if you do have a question, speak up. Everybody can take themselves off from mute right now. So if you have a question, ask the question. The last part of the podcast is if you would like to also take yourself off of mute and say who you are, obviously what your name is and what you do and what you're looking for. The reason for that is a lot of times, actually most times, there is somebody else on a podcast. And also remember, this is going to all the outlets. So whatever you say, you're marketing to the world. And the next couple of times as our podcast blows up, you're basically and essentially marketing to everyone who listens to the podcast, even after the show. So if you have something you want to advertise, you have a fund or a syndication that you need help with. If anybody has something that they want to speak about, speak now, forever hold your peace.
Do you mind if I put the link to the thing in the chat?
Yeah, and also email it to me as well. So
sure.
It's on Shark Pool is on Thursdays, correct?
That's correct.
How can individuals find it?
The best way to go to The website, apartmentinvestingsharkpool.com. That's probably the best way, or just Google apartmentinvestingsharkpool.com. Apartment investing shark pool. We don't have the domain yet, Shark Pool. It costs $10,000, but we're
Been there before.
So be honest, right? I mean, I would love to have it, but right now, $10,000 for a domain, we have to make sure it works.
Nope. Have you tried like US or .net or
.biz or .net?
Yep. We had to go .us on a couple of ours. So everyone, there also should be a save chat option. So if you're listening and you want to, you know what? Also, I'm stealing this from Tim Ma, because he does this on his podcast. I think it's genius. You can also put in the comments, in the chat box, your name and information, so that way, when you save, if you decide to save this information, it'll be, saved on your computer. You can go back and refer to it. And I'll start putting that at the beginning of the podcast. I just thought about it. I meet so many amazing people, and they say the best form of flattery is imitation, right? So
I'll tell you about it, man. Start your own platform. Having a platform, it creates so much stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Open so many doors.
All right, so I'll give everybody a few seconds if they want to comment. Thanks, Don. I appreciate that, your comment. Nobody has any questions for Corneilous, it appears. Also, Melvin, is Melvin still on here? Let's see.
I'm Melvin out.
Melvin left. Okay, well, you had a chance to ask a securities attorney a question, but he had to leave. He's usually on most Tuesdays. Man, I appreciate you coming on. So just to go back over the information, Shark Pool is every Thursday. Shark Pool is huge for a Zoom event. I need to start joining as well. Thursdays are usually really, really busy for me. That's why I do my podcast on Tuesdays. But the ones that I've seen, man, 130 attendees, 120 attendees, like you guys are killing it. And they're, it's very high quality a group of investors as well.
Yeah, that's good, man. Yeah, keep going, man. Let's do it. Thank you, everything.
Cool. All right. Well, I appreciate it, man, and I hope to have you on again. Again, thanks for everybody who was able to join tonight, and thank you for everybody who's listening. And we also have, I never say this, but we have Facebook Live on as well. Thank you guys for on Facebook who are watching this and actually made it to the end to see the thank you. Everybody have a good night, and I hope to see you Thursday on Shark Pool.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Sharks up.
And I hope to see everybody next Tuesday as well. So thank you again, Corneilous, for joining, and thank all the attendees for joining as well.
Outstanding. Thanks so much, man.
All right, thanks. See you guys later. Bye.